unnecessary contact. Wind up and unnecessary. The two of those can be a flagrant 2. And face. You have described why was it a flagrant 2. You have just described a flagrant 2 as your answer for why it's upgraded to a flagrant 1.
You've just described 2 prerequisites for a flagrant 2 foul: high injury probability and completely needless contact with force, and the referees literally listed every one of those criteria while somehow arguing that Sheldon's attack wasn't a flagrant 2. It's like accusing someone of murder, and then proudly explaining why you only charged them with jaywalking. The logic isn't just flawed. It exposes how predetermined the outcome was. And what makes it even worse is that Sheldon's swipe had nothing to do with basketball. Clark was dribbling with her left hand, nowhere near Sheldon's right side, when Sheldon reached across her body to claw her in the right eye. That's not a basketball play. That's an intentional attempt to injure the league's biggest star. And the refs still found a way to minimize it. Then we moved to the Marina Mabrey incident, where she sprinted across the court during a dead ball just to body-check Clark to the ground. According to the referee report, Mabrey's collision did not rise to the level of an ejection. So apparently in the WNBA, violence during a dead ball isn't considered serious, as long as the target is Caitlin Clark. Mabrey's hit was so blatant that even casual fans were shouting for her removal live as it happened. She had zero basketball reason to be anywhere near Clark, much less deliver a full-body hit. And yet the most absurd part is that after Clark was clawed in the eye and knocked to the floor, she was the one hit with a technical foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. The referees describe her reaction, covering her injured eye and trying to pull away from further contact, as though it were some routine emotional outburst. What exactly was Clark supposed to do? Smile politely while getting assaulted? The entire report reads like a defense brief for the players who targeted her, not an objective review of what happened.
Detail what you mean by get control of the game, just to be in your words.
Get control of the game is call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Right, and consistently call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Okay, not just if somebody swings and misses, right, like consistent.
Clark was essentially penalized by officials for being assaulted. Sheldon hit her with a forearm, scratched her eye, and then blindsided her again while Clark was literally covering her injury. The referee's reaction amounted to the most blatant case of victim blaming imaginable. They penalized her because she supposedly did not take the abuse calmly enough. Their explanation for Tina Charles's technical foul was equally absurd. According to them, pointing at someone and walking toward them now qualifies as unsportsmanlike behavior deserving of a tech. Yet gouging someone's eye and body-checking them to the floor are apparently considered normal basketball contact. Ironically, the only call that made sense was Sophie Cunningham's flagrant 2. And even that ended up exposing the hypocrisy of everything else. Sophie grabbed Sheldon by the neck in retaliation for what was done to Clark. But while the original attacks were minimized or excused, Sophie's response was treated as the crime of the century. The officials admitted in their own report that they had lost control of the game, and that their earlier mishandling caused things to escalate. Yet instead of taking responsibility, they blamed everyone except the players who actually instigated the chaos. Lindsay Allen's ejection was another joke. She stepped in after Sophie retaliated, yet her involvement was trivial compared to Mabrey, the player who delivered the most violent hit of the entire game, and Mabrey was allowed to finish the contest. The selective enforcement was so blatant it was insulting. In the post-game press conference, Coach Stephanie White handled everything masterfully. She stepped in before reporters could drag Clark into the political minefield of criticizing referees and made it clear, in diplomatic but devastating fashion, that the officiating was unacceptable. White said the officials knew the game was spiraling from the first quarter, yet failed to stop it. She essentially accused them of incompetence while maintaining plausible deniability. When she said the players' athleticism, strength, and speed had evolved, but the officiating had not, she delivered the perfect criticism: honest, professional, and impossible for the league to dismiss as emotional or biased. The fact that every coach in the league has been complaining about officiating proves this is not an Indiana fever problem. Everyone can see that the issue is systemic. And what makes it infuriating is that all of this was preventable. If the officials had simply ejected Sheldon for the eye-gouging attack, nothing else would have happened. Sophie would never have needed to retaliate. Play would have continued normally. Instead, because the officials refused to protect Clark, players felt forced to self-police. Sophie essentially did the referee's job for them, making it clear that if the officials wouldn't protect their star, someone else would. This pattern has followed Clark all season. Contact that would be called a flagrant on any other player is shrugged off when she's the target, but if she reacts, even instinctively, she gets a technical. It's shameful for fans around the world to watch the WNBA mishandle its most marketable athlete. The league's reputation is suffering internationally, especially after this referee report, which has received overwhelmingly negative backlash online. When officiating becomes a joke, the legitimacy of the entire competition is undermined. And now the double standard is predictable. Players know they can target Clark with minimal consequences, while anyone who defends her faces immediate punishment. This forces Clark to change her style of play just to protect herself, lowering the quality of the game and setting a dangerous precedent. The economic consequences are massive. Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball, millions of viewers, sold-out arenas, national broadcasts. Referees are not only putting her health and performance at risk, they are jeopardizing the WNBA's most valuable asset. Casual fans tuned in to watch her play, and instead saw her get beaten on national television while being penalized for being a victim. That's not how you grow a league. This referee crew deserves serious consequences. Their report was an attempt to justify blatantly biased decisions while openly admitting to multiple failures. When public-facing officials expose themselves like this, accountability should follow. And the timing couldn't be worse. The WNBA is trying to secure new media rights deals while simultaneously showcasing some of the most dysfunctional officiating in professional sports. In almost every other league, even when refereeing is bad, refs do not admit their errors and then blame the injured party. But that's exactly what happened here. Instead of focusing solely on honing her skills and helping her team compete for championships, Clark has to navigate referees who seem determined to make her job harder. It's unprecedented stupidity, especially for a second-year player. And when similar situations have happened with less famous players, officials typically stepped in quickly and fairly. But when Clark is involved, the game spirals out of control, and the handling is consistently worse. The WNBA's failure to protect its brightest star is shaping how other leagues and international basketball communities view American women's basketball. This is no longer an isolated problem or a team rivalry issue. It's a widespread, undeniable pattern of bias,